Good evening. Please, if you're online, please identify. Let's know who and who are online. Oh, thank you, my sister, for coming on board. Thank you. Thank you. In just 30 seconds, I'm going to start. Sorry for coming late. It was due to connection. You're welcome on board. You're welcome on board. We'll be starting just in just a minute now. I'm trying to call the attention of some students because I came late due to connection online. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. If you're joining us now, this is our lecture online. So I think I have some few people on board. And I want to tell you that if you're online, please, I want you to just like the thumb up and try to drop message for me to know who and who are online. You just have to do that to for us to know who and who are online. So please try to help us to thumb up and drop message. And in today's teaching, if you have anything you want to you would like to ask, you can drop out it on the comment box on the YouTube channel, or you call on 620-586-038 to be able to act directly. So today I'm going to talk about the topic which is our last topic in our new book to close the chapter of this section, and we're starting the new class beginning again from next week. And being the last topic in our book, I'm going to explain them shortly, and I'm going to discuss some rudiment of passing exam and what you need to do in order to achieve your exam. This question, this topic, or this unit, being the last one on the book, is a unit that many of the students they ignore so much, and few questions comes up on board on it. So I'm going to dwell more on those questions that come on the aspects in this topic. And this topic, as I said, is automobile, which has to do with the mechanical states, the maintenance and the remedy, which you have to understand. It's also help a lot of people in future when you have your car, instead of the technicians lying to you that this that you are able to get the proper theory, or you have an issue with your vehicle, you are able to get it clear to yourself that these are the remedy and the solution on board. But before I go on, I am going to tell you that we are trying to explain one of the units in B license, and it is very, very important, as I always say, that look, to get your B license, you need the right materials if you want it in other languages like the English, the French, the German, and the Chino. And I tell you that in exam here in Spain, you can have it in almost 6 languages, which is registered and is very important, because many people don't know. Last video, people calling me after the lecture that they watched the video and they were able to get a theory that the English is available, that they thought English is not available. That is why most of them are mutes and they can't go for the exam. But I'm telling you today that English is possible. You do the exam in English, you pick up the English, and you can get it when you have a right theory concerning it. Now, the topic which I'm going to talk about is the automobile maintenance. What is the automobile? Remember, automobile is an engine, is a kind of vehicle that has an engine that has construction of more than 50 centimeter cube and can do a speed that is greater than 45 kilometer per hour, which means they can exceed 45 kilometer per hour. And I'm going to dwell, when we're talking about the motor, I'm going to dwell about two feeding system, which is the petrol and the diesel. I'm not going to talk much because nowadays new technology, we have the solar, we have the gas, we have the other means of feeding system in that vehicle. Please, if you are joining us, help us to thumb up. There's a thumb up button, just thumb up, subscribe. Don't watch our video free. Please subscribe on the channel. It's very, very important to us. So that has to do. So the power system, the power system is the feeding system, which is the system that makes the engine to work. And this power system does what? It brings the mixture of a gas, or mixture of the fuel and air together in the combustion chamber, which is in the cylinder. The engine, if, for example, if you are having petrol engine, petrol is being sprayed in the engine, in the system, in the engine, the combustor, the cylinder side of the engine, and here is being sucked in to mix with the fuel in order to become a gas, so that it can burn and propel the engine to move. So that is the feeding system. And remember that the air filter, which filters the air, needs to be well cleaned, so that it can filter a proper air to come in. That's why when I was explaining something in the class last time, I told them that look, or you can have a rich mixture, and you have a kind of film, a pollution coming out behind your exhaust pipe, or you're having a high consumption of fuel when your air filter is dirty. So when the air filter is dirty, you need to clean it so that you have a good clearing, a good burning system, and a good kind of feeding system, which will happen to your car. And remember, in exam, if you are having behind your exhaust, if you are having a kind of black smoke is due to dirty air filter sometimes, because the fuel consumption is higher, so you're having the fuel is burning more, so you're having a color black behind your exhaust pipe. If you're having a bluish kind of color, it's the cause of engine oil finding its way, excessive oil finding its way into the combustion area. So when oil are burning, you will realize that the kind of color that will come behind your exhaust pipe is a kind of bluish color. When you're having white is due to creation of water vapor in the engine. So you're having white out of that. So we have the electrical system. These are systems in the vehicle. Electrical system. What is the purpose of electrical system? Remember, they transmit the chemical energy into electricity. So transmitting of chemical energy into electricity. Example is the I'm coming to the question. Example is the battery. In exam, battery comes out in exam. And how does battery comes out in exam? Battery comes out in two ways. Now, let me just try to teach this. Battery, we have two types of battery. We have the dry cell battery, and we have the wet cell battery. The dry cell and the wet cell. The major and the most efficient one is the dry cell. The dry cell does not have any liquid in it, and the wet cell has what we call a liquid in it, which is called sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid plus distilled water. Sulfuric acid plus distilled water is the liquid inside the not only acid. Remember, in the wet cell battery, we have the sulfuric acid plus distilled water, which is called electrolyte. In exam, if you're asked, what is the name of the liquid in the battery? The liquid name is not an acid. It's just the mixture of a sulfuric acid plus distilled water, which is called the electrolyte. And anytime the electrolyte shorting in the battery, that is go down in the battery, you don't top up with another acid. You top up with ordinary distilled water. So if you're asked in the exam, what do you use in topping up the battery? Is the distilled water. Let me just go into some questions that some students are asking. I pause there. I will come back to the lecture. They say, what is the effect when the shock absorber is defected? When the shock absorber is defected, what is the purpose of shock absorber? It makes you have a proper comfort in the vehicle. One, the effect is that when shock absorber is not bad, you will oscillate. Your light will be oscillating because the car will be bouncing, and you will be uncomfortable in the vehicle. You will use more fuel system because you're having a kind of increase in your braking also. So those are the effects of shock absorber, bad shock absorber in states in your vehicle. Good evening. So you're welcome, sir. Mr. Babalala, you're welcome, sir. When overtaking on the highway in a passenger car, can you exceed the speed limit? When you're overtaking, there's a particular road where you can exceed the speed limit. The particular road is called a conventional road when you are driving a private car. Or when you're driving your private car on a conventional road, you can exceed the limit with 20 kilometers per hour. For example, if the conventional road is one of 100 or is the one of 90, what you just need to overtake with is to add 20 to the generic maximum speed of that road to overtake the vehicle that is doing lesser, that is doing lesser than the maximum of that particular road. So if the vehicle ahead of you is doing the maximum speed already, what you need to do is you have to continue going. You cannot overtake. So if you twist the question in exam this way, that, the vehicle ahead of you is doing the maximum speed on that road already, or they are telling you that the vehicle ahead of you is doing 90. What you just need to do is to discover the road, discover whether the road is the one of 90 or is the one of 100. So if it's the one of 90, it means that you cannot overtake on that state. So that is the question. That is the answer to those questions. Let me go on with my lecture. If that question comes up, you can post it. And I told you that today there's going to be an interaction. You can also call. This is a lecture for the class, just to meet all students personally, and it's live. You can also call on 620-586-038 if you want to call in to ask your question through phone, and I'm here to answer you. So we are still on the electrical system of the vehicle. I said, if you are joining us, help us to thumb up and make sure, don't watch the video without subscribing. Help us to thumb up and subscribe. Press the subscribe button and thumb up and make sure that you drop a message for us to know who are online, because I'm taking registered of some students online. So that's it. So we have the other thing I just spoke about, the battery, and I told us that we have two types of battery, which are the wet cell and the dry cell. The major one, the where question comes, is on the wet cell. And what is the question? What is the liquid in the wet cell battery? Electrolyte. What is it made up of? Distilled water and sulfuric acid. What did you use in topping it up? Distilled water. So I go into other thing, which is the ignition system. What is the purpose of the ignition system? Is to create a spark on the plug. You understand me? Electrical that creates spark on the plug. We have the charging system also. The charging system is in two ways. We have the dynamo and we have the alternator. Alternator is charging back the battery. It charge back the battery. It put the battery back on 12 volts because the battery is 12 volts. So when you start the engine, you ignite your engine, you're taking power from the engine and you're taking some volt out. So something is to charge the battery back into position. So that is the alternator. So the work of the alternator is to charge back the battery. It's just like in your phone. You charge back your phone with your cable. So your charger is the same thing as alternator in the battery. So let me go back to the question that somebody dropped. He said, is driving in reverse prohibited? Good. As a general law, you cannot drive in reverse. As a general law, you cannot, it's prohibited. But exceptional cases, watch the question very well, because when it comes to maneuvering system in exam, some answer can be yes and can also be no. It depends on the objective. But note that general law, reversing is prohibited. But exceptional cases, there are two reasons why reverse gear is in the car. Reverse gear is in the car in two cases. Why? One, when you enter a no-through road, which is a close, where you cannot change direction, you cannot go forward, you cannot change lane. What you need to do in that area is to reverse back. You can reverse back to join junction. You can reverse back as much as possible. Or when you park on a parking and you need to come out from the parking through reverse, you are permitted. But that one, you cannot invade junction and you cannot go more than 15 meters. That is about reverse. So it depends on how the question comes. You have to be able to answer in that direction. So I go on. We have the starter motor. What is the starter motor? Starter motor is the one that makes the engine to move. It takes the power directly from the battery. That is why when you start your car in the morning, you are taking power. The more, if the car does not start, the more you start to crank the engine, the battery will start going down because you are taking the 12 volt out of the battery. Remember in exam, if you're asked, how many volts has the battery? 12 volts. So we have the lightning system. The lightning system in the vehicle, as we all know, it's a kind of system that makes us to see and to be seen in the vehicle. So it uses light also and is a system that is so important in any reduced visibility, any to show your presence, to position yourself, and on any kind at night also. And again, we have the lubrication system. What is lubrication system? That is the part of the engine that in continuous process of friction needs oil to grease the parts. So the purpose of oil in the vehicle is not just to lubricate the moving parts, it's also to cool. Note in exam, this simple question comes as a question that they brought into scene 2 years ago. And when people get it in exam, they said, does lubricating system cools the engine? Yes, it cools the engine. It's not just the cooling system alone, not just the water, the oil also, so that when you buy a good oil with good viscosity, it cools your engine and it works very well with the engine to lubricate it. So when you are having oil, remember that the oil, it goes into the crankshaft, that is the oil, and it passes through its own passage of oil. There's a passage of water and there's a passage of oil. Anytime you see the mixture of oil and water, it means that there's a kind of bridge in between the crank system, which you have to give attention to. A question comes up again. Let me just take the question. Please, as I'm teaching, you can be dropping question anywhere, any angle from any topic, because today is the last topic and I'm starting newly fresh from beginning from next week again. So we have, may a car be driven with sun shield in the rear window? Yes. You can have sun shield, means a protector at the back of the windscreen. You can have curtain also. I can put curtain behind my windscreen because I don't want sun to hit the children or the passenger behind my car. Or I have a kind of reflector, a kind of something that covers the glass behind. But if you're having that in your car, that means you are blocking the vision of the interior mirror. Interior mirror becomes useless, can't see. So in that scene, you must have the two exterior mirror in function, which means the left and the right mirror must be okay. So it is very important in exam when you are having curtain or sun shield or sun blind, anyhow they call it, you must have the two exterior mirror functioning, working inside. So that's it. So we go on with oil. How do you check oil? How do you check oil? You check oil when the engine is stopped. You check oil when the engine is cold, when the engine is on horizontal position. So you gauge the oil with what they call the dipstick. The dipstick has maximum on it and minimum on it. Look, let me shock you something. Many people go to practical and they don't even drive. I could remember sometimes, even till now, when 5 people go to exam, the examiner can just call one, go and show us how to check oil. And when the person is able to remove the stick and clean and tell us the oil should be in between the maximum and minimum. When it's lesser than the minimum, means that the engine oil is short and the oil light will show on the dashboard. But when it's above the maximum, means that you're going to have a kind of oil burning in the engine. So you have excessive oil. So that kind of person will not drive. They will just pass the person because they want to know whether you understand the theory. That is why when you go for practical, the teacher will explain with you with the car you are using. That is the same car you are going to use in exam for the practical. Don't change car in practical. The car you use in the driving school for your practical is the same car they are going to bring for the exam during practical, so that because they believe that you get used to that same car, you are able to switch off to understand how to switch off the car. You're able to understand how to adjust the seats. You're able to adjust. You're able to know where the gear is, and so on and so forth. Other controls in the vehicle. So the oil is gauged like that. And remember this: changing oil is different from checking oil. When you are checking oil, you check oil when the oil is cold. But when you are changing oil, you change oil when the engine is hot. So in exam, if you're asked, when did you change oil? When the engine is hot. Why? Because when the engine is hot, it will allow all the oil to be released out of the engine because you want to pour a new one, a new intake. But when you are gauging, you gauge when the oil is cold. It gives you an accurate kind. And anytime you're changing oil, you have to change the oil filters also. We have the cooling system among of the system. That is the system that cools the engine. It makes the engine to be at a kind of optimum working temperature, which is at 95 degrees centigrade. The engine, anything 95, 100, it starts becoming a boiling point. That is why you see overheating happening in a vehicle. So the cooling system has to be in a kind of in whole vehicle, so it cools the engine and put the engine back in position. So we have the water cooling system, which we use the coolant stuff. We have the air cooling system also, but the most time we use the water cooling system, which we use the coolant that are adequate for that temperature. The kind of coolant we use in in sunny period is different from the one we use during cold, so that's because of the anti-frozen type. And remember that this cooling system is made up of your coolant, which is the mixture with the water and the antifreeze. We have the radiator, that is where the liquid is being cooled, and we have the ventilator, which is the radiator fan. And we have the thermostat also, which open and close for the passage of the liquid to go into the engine and come back into the radiator. We have the water pump, which does the work of pumping or pushing the water into the engine, pushing the water back into the radiator for cooling. And you have to follow this. And we have another system which is called transmission system. Transmission system is the one that does the movement to the wheel. The engine. When your gear is in neutral, you start the engine. The car will stop, just be stationary. It will move. But immediately you engage the transmission, the engine will move, because you are turning the rotational movement of the engine into the wheel. And through what means? The transmission system is made up of the clutch and the gearbox. The clutch and the gearbox. So these two are what are made up of the transmission system. We have the suspension system, like a question that someone asked earlier. His job is to prevent the irregularity of the road and of the road surface, and transmit a kind of comfort into the cabin system of the vehicle. It enhances safety also, which is very, very important. We have to understand that. And remember, when shock absorber is in bad condition, your braking will not be okay again, and the vehicle will tend to move forward because it's oscillating. So when you brake, it's bouncing. Let me tell you something. Most time before, when we are small, when people go and buy car, they tend to press the back of the car, and you see the car bouncing. You say, "Oh, the shock absorber is good." It's a lie. The shock absorber shouldn't be bouncing. It shouldn't be bouncing. It has to reduce shock. So its purpose is to reduce shock, not to oscillate. So in that case, when your car is bouncing, it means that the shock absorber is not good. So shock absorber is supposed to bounce in that area, because when shock absorber is bad, it will tend to move your car forward when you brake, because it's bouncing. And again, you understand that the vehicle will try to wave at any bend, because it's not either because of the poor condition of the road, and the tire will always wear. The tire will wear evenly, because the tire will wear anyhow. It won't wear at the center, it won't wear on the side, it will just be wearing anyhow. So you see the tire wearing from any angle. We have the steering system. The steering system is just to point the wheel on the right direction. You turn the steering, you turn it to the left, it turns the wheel to the left, you turn it to the right, it turns the wheel to the right. And this system is very, very important, because it controls the directional wheel, and the steering should be very easy, not too losing to turn. And when you are traveling straight, it should be able to go straight, because you set the alignments and it should be okay. And remember that it does the wear of tire also, if you are not having it so clear. Good. And we have the braking system, where I explain more of the time, but here I'm going to talk about the maintenance of it. The most common braking system we have is hydraulic. Hydraulic means that the use of liquid in braking system, which is the oil, the brake fluid, and you have to check the brake fluid constantly, but not every time, because the brake fluid, if there's no leakage, the brake fluid can be there. But remember that it expires. The intensity of that oil expires. So when it expires, the braking system might not be effective again. So you just need to let me withdraw the ones there and change into a new brake system, and check your brake pad, check your shoe if you are not having a proper braking on the roadway. And we have the wheel and the tire. I've taught the tire last time in the class, and I explained to us very well that the wheel is made up of tire and the rim. And the rim is the circular iron inside, which can be an alloy or a steel, and tapped by a black elastic, which is the tire. The maintenance is you have to make sure that you avoid hitting the curb, hitting the part of a road that is high or stuff, so that it won't deform the tire. And you have to keep your tire in a correct inflation pressure according to the manufacturer. You must make sure that it's well gauged and it's okay. You have to replace the tire if there's a crack on the tire or there's a kind of mark, and if you notice a stone on the canvas, on the tread of tire, try to remove it and make that okay. Check the design, the kind of depth tread of that tire, which I said also, and you have to like clean the groove, which is the canvas of the tire. So that is the end of our class in this last section, and we are able to finish the class also in just few weeks, which is just like 5 weeks, and we'll run the class and we'll finish that. Now, the student that has finished this class can also join us again, because we have a kind of contract that is until you pass. So you can still join us by starting again with us on the next class. But people that joined us in the middle of the class, like last 2 weeks, now can start afresh. The students before can refresh themselves also. So it is very, very important for us to understand that the class goes on, continue, go on. So in this course of teaching, we're still going to start revision also. In our next class might be revision for exam, and in the process, that is why yesterday we are able to tell them on the class that look, everybody should start using the material that has to be the test material, which will help you to engage the teacher on some likely test which you have. But it's very, very important for you to understand the manual, because the manual is the basement of that lecture, so that if they twist any question, you'll be able to understand. And I want to beg every student, if you encounter any question on your course of learning, on your course of studying, try to let your teacher to know, and so that we can explain, because you don't even know which of the 30 questions that will come to your table. Everybody in the exam has different 30 questions. Everybody in exam has different. If you are 100 in the exam hall, you are having different. Nobody has the same question, but you can have the same diagram. You can have the same picture, but you are not having the same question. But you are having a twisted question that looks alike, that talks the same thing, but everything comes from the manual which we use in teaching in school. That is why we use the material that tallies to what the Spanish government use in setting the exam. That is why we have the word in English. If you use the wrong material, I told you last time that the wrong material will make you to start cracking your head and you won't get it. So I'm available 24 hours when you register with us. We have our own platform on class, which we teach online, and we are able to satisfy every student to see you achieving it. And we run it like this in English and make sure that you get what you need to get. So if you have any question, most of the question you meet in exam, they sound foolish. So don't commonize any question when you don't understand it. Post it on the page of the class. And because I'm talking to my student now, post it on the page of the class and wait for the teacher to explain. Students can also add value to it, but the teacher will explain, and I explain until you understand. And I have to teach like a baby, as if you've not even acquired steering before, so that you can get it. Because when you acquire it, it will really help you. Your theory, the class of theory you have, will help you in practical and will help you in future. I can propose to tell you that, look, if you have a proper teaching, you would not incur multa in future. You will not incur anyhow multa in future. You'll be able to understand your state. Multa is sanctioned. You will not be able to. So let me just take a question that somebody dropped. Does liability insurance cover the injury of the driver who didn't cause the accident? Who did not cause? So if you did not cause the accident, the liability insurance covers you because of the person who hits you. But if you are the cause, just know that word in exam. That's where the trick in exam. Mr. A can get this question like this: who didn't cause the accident? And Mr. B will get another question that says, does the liability insurance covers the driver who caused the accident? Look at it. Just one word, not. And the other one is without not. So you have to understand that. Let me just tell you the liability insurance. Liability insurance does not cover you, because it only helps you in an accident that happens to you beyond your imagination, which the opposite side will be secured. You'll be able to, in Nigeria, before, when we don't have now we have an insurance policy in Africa, in Nigeria, that is working. Like last time when I went, I saw somebody claiming even insurance stuff from them. So it's very important to understand that when you have that insurance policy with you and you are not at fault, automatically it covers you. But when you're at fault, you are the one it does not cover. It's only cover the damage of the other person. So that is it. So if you have some question and you cannot write, maybe because you're using the phone or stuff, you can call in on 620-586-038. And again, please, if you're on board, try to help us to click the hand like this. Try to and don't watch the video. If you're watching this video maybe after even the lecture, not live, please help us to subscribe. Don't just watch this video without subscribing. Help us to subscribe. Click the subscribe button and help us to subscribe, and sometimes help us to share it with as many people that want to listen to this. But now it's still a lecture, but it will be on our page, which you can help us to copy to someone else. So any other question from student? Any other question? Good. I'm going to, after lecture this, I'm going to put our test online, the answers of our test we did yesterday. I'm going to post it online. I wanted to post it, but because I have issue in connecting lately, so that's why I couldn't be able to do that. So any question generally, anything, and confidence matters so much when you study. Confidence matter. It is better you study earlier now than studying when the time of the exam comes. I posted the link to pick an exam date on our class forum yesterday. You can try to pick an exam day on your area. And someone called me from another state today that how can I get the medical test? Most of the medical test is not just your doctor. Your doctor cannot give you. It has to do is a digital kind of psychotechnical test, which should be done from the authorized one, and it's not free. It's not free anywhere. So since you're living in that state, and if you don't get it around, go closer to the traffic office. There's always people doing that business around the traffic office, which you just tell them, but you have to tell them what you want to use it for, so that they will be able to know what, because people go and get it for armor, shooting, or if you're going for police program, you get it, and all some other stuffs. So you need to tell them you are using it for the exam of theory, like driver's license, so that they will be able to know what and what to do about it. So any question from anyone? And let me just talk about hints generally. Hints, I always talk about this. Hints, when you go to the exam, you are going to face 30 questions. And the 30 questions goes with picture, question, and 3 or 2 objectives. Now, if the question, concentrate more on the question. If the question does not refer you to the picture, forget about the picture. But if the question refers you to the picture, calm down, watch the picture, and answer according to the picture. Don't imagine. And when you are answering question according to the picture, if the question has to do with maneuvering system, put it in mind that maneuvering system has a general rules and exceptional rules. So if the question is asking about general rules, in the objective you will know. If the question is talking about the exceptional rules, in the objective you will know. Just like somebody asking, can you reverse? Or if the question says, can you reverse as a general rule? No, because as a general rule, no. But can you reverse? It's now putting you into a kind of darkness to know whether they are talking about general rule or exceptional rule, because as a general rule is yes, is no, sorry. But exceptional rule is yes in 2 cases, which I explained before. So I repeat, if you're watching us, try to like the video. Please like the video. Like the video. It's only 2 people that like it. Just like the video, or you just like the video. Any of the two, just like the video, or you just like the video. So what we are saying now is, if you have any other question, you can call in on 620-586-038, and somebody can help us to copy from your phone on our school page. Just let me to copy this video, so that for the benefit of people that are working, because 4 people called me that they will not be able to join us because of they are working this night, and they will not be able to connect to YouTube from work because of the nature of their job. So, and they will be able to watch if they close at late night or tomorrow morning. So please help me to copy back home. And on the back page, So please, again, some people called me about our material. We sell material also. We give the material out. If you don't want to join our class, we can give you material. You just need to call us, and I get the material down to you wherever you are. If you are outside of Madrid, I get it posted to you. But if you want to join us, good. We charge you with the teaching, and we tend to prepare you. We are available. What the important thing is that we are available to solve problems. When you start reading, test, engage us, and makes it real. It's possible. So, and again, we offer the C license and C1, but it's not in English. It's only in Spanish because it's a professional license. We offer that for as many. I thank God that 4 students this month were able to secure driver's license trailer C lorry from us, C and C1. So if you're interested, it's also in Spanish. But if you don't pass B, you can't do C. If you don't pass C and C1, you can't do D, which is the buses. So it's very important for us to have this. And there's job opportunity when you have all these licenses. It gives you priority. It gives you opportunity to get contact with some better job, easy job, and well paid one anywhere within Europe, which will really help you. I have a student that passed my theory and gets the license of trailer from me, and today is working in Slovenia. From Spain here, he had a contract from a company, one big company, to driving lorry in Slovenia down to UK, down, and he's collecting bastard pay, very big pay. Even when he called me and told me, I was like, my God, he said, look, got a very big pay, and Christmas time, I remember what the gift he sent to me from the country where he is to appreciate me every year. It's since almost 4 years ago, and he's still appreciating me every year for it, because he said, I will always remember, because what you encouraged me then, gave me this opportunity. And then he doesn't have money, but I encourage to have a kind of does instrumental payments. So if you're watching this video and you don't have the money and you want us to assist in this area, we can talk, we can rub mind. I'm a black person like you, as you're seeing, and I can always assist. My vision is to make sure that at least a lot of people are able to achieve this year. So please be free to call on 620-586-038. And again, please examine practices. It is not right. Keep telling people, I don't want to encourage it. It might be possible somewhere in some states, but I don't want to encourage it, because I'm not happy seeing my Nigerian nation falling into trap. And what I noticed is that those that fell into that trap, they are still encouraging people to do it so that you can be like them. This is not the situation in Spain, that you go and look for the problem of the Spanish government. The pandemic alone gave them attention so much. So when you cause problem as a foreigner, you are -1 in the system. You become a scapegoat. So please, I beg you. That's why I'm sacrificing time to come online like this. And I know online is like a breeze. It goes far. So help us to check, help us to tell people, help us to share contact with a lot of people. Also, a question says, sir, when overtaking, when you do a turn off, when do you turn off your indicator? And is when you return back to the lane. When do you turn off your indicator? Good. When you overtake, you horn a trafficator to overtake. When you are on that lane, you change trafficator again, you turn. When you come back to your own lane, you turn off your indicator. Because when you finish the overtaking maneuver, that is when you turn off the indicator. Because when you are still overtaking, your indicator should still be on, because you are still doing the maneuver. So until when you finish the overtaking, coming back to your lane, that is when you put off the indicator. Many people don't know this, and this is an exam question. It comes in exam. Until you go back to your lane, until you return back to your lane. Anyhow, they say go back to your lane or return back to your lane. That is when. Yeah. Please, let's engage ourselves. I'm online with you here. And I still have some minutes. I'm online with you here. Let's engage. This is teacher live with you. So I can't be in the house of everybody. So I'm live here with you. Please, let's engage ourselves. You can call on 620-586-038, 620-586-038, or you type the question. Let's engage. Let's engage. This is me teaching. You can ask general question. You can call to ask any question, because we'll finish the theory now. We are starting again from beginning. We're starting from beginning again. So if you have any question, generally, no question is stupid or foolish to me. In exam, it is very, very important, because the question you are going to face in the exam, those 30 questions look like foolish. So if you don't treat a foolish question before getting into the whole thing makes you look foolish to the answers. So you have to ask question. The beauty part of teaching is when you study, ask question. Even when you study and those things gives you a kind of stress, ask them as question, because it might help other people. It might help. That is why we put things together like that. It might help. Please. Any other question? I'm waiting for question from us. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question, please? 9. Any other question? Any other question? If there's no question in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to call it a day then. The level crossing without barrier, is it a prohibition or danger? The level crossing without barrier is a danger. The level crossing without barrier, let me just show you where we have it in the book. The level crossing without barrier is a danger, a danger due to a train or tram, a rail ahead of you. So it falls in the section of dangers. Red triangles are danger. So the level crossing without barrier, with multiple tracks, you understand me? They fall in the section of danger. So it's danger because it's telling you the proximity of a danger ahead. It can be a prohibition, because prohibition is secular red. Prohibition falls in on secular red section. So it's very important. So please help us to thumb up, like the video. If you're watching, if you're coming up on board to watch the video. We just finished the topic on mechanic and automobile maintenance, which is called mechanic in some topic. So please, if you're having any question, please you can drop your question, or you call in on 620-586. 620-586. I repeat, 620. Let me just drop the number on the screen board also for anyone who wants to call in. We have some few minutes to go. If there's no one to ask question, we again. So if you help us to share, I always beg people. I will beg people to always help us to share. Tell people about this online class, that it's suitable, it's convenient for them, even though they are working. You can be able to listen to the lecture lately. You can, any time of yours, you prepare yourself, and available 24 hours teacher to assist you to get it. And we use the material that tallies to the exam, that we are confident of. And we have the thematic test, which is on mobile phone also, which will help you with the code which we give. And the whole thing is well packaged, and we make it real. So help us to share and help us to tell people. A question says, can a 16 years old drive a car? No. A 16 years old person cannot drive a car. The official age that can start to drive a car is 18 years, but 17 years when the parents are beside. So when your child is 17 years, can do exam, but you have to always be beside the child when driving, with your own driver's license at the age of 17 upward. 16 years is just for a mope. When I taught, I explained the topic yesterday in our class, and I told you that the 14 years to 16 years, they drive a vehicle. What is the vehicle? The vehicle is mope, a scooter. It can be a 2-wheel, it can be 3-wheel, it can be 4-wheel. When it's a 4-wheel, it's called light quadricycle, but not a car. Not a car, because it's using a built-up area. It can go on the highway. So And remember, motorcycle is 21 years. 21 years. So in case you are asked, but car is 18 years. 16 years cannot drive a car. Cannot drive a car, because in the theory you have to be 18 years to be able to acquire driver's license here in Spanish. So any other question, any other question, any other question, any other question, help us to like the video, thumb up to like the video, thumb up to like the video if you're watching us from any angle, help us to like the video and help us to share the video, help us to tell the people about this message we're doing. We are just trying to make it convenient for people that are working. If we mount a class on English somewhere, some people, it might not fall conducive for people that are working in the evening. If we put it in the morning, it might not be conducive for people that are working in the morning. It might not, because the way we work here in abroad, that is why we sit down and bring it on this platform to help as many people in English. So it is important, and it is very necessary. Don't wait until you have the whole thing complete. Just key into it and go. Before you know, there are people that passed from me years back. They don't even forget. They don't even remember whether I'm the one that taught them. So it's just give your time. Before you know, 1 month, 2 months, you've gotten it. If you know what you are doing within a month, you've gotten it. Now look, we started this new lectures just some weeks ago, and we are finishing today. If you're a student that follows us genuinely, it means that you've covered the book. You've covered the book 65%. And the test now, when you are now doing the test, you can racket the test within 1 week. And we put the exam for you upper week. You go and do it. When you pay for exam, you have 2 chances. If by error you failed first one, you are not paying second one. You just wait to clean the second one and you go for it. So it's very simple. When the problem is that many students are so relaxed. They're so relaxed. When teacher is dropping the teaching, they are relaxed. They don't bother. So, but you have to just create time. It's better you struggle, suffer to achieve it within a month than carrying it, procrastinating it. When you realize that something is making you, I will study this thing tomorrow. Just, oh no, I paid for it. You paid for it. That is why you have to make it serious. It's not free anyway. It's not free. The material is not free. I don't print it. I don't have a printing press. That's why I got even. It has to be like that. So please and please, now key on your text, drop your text on our platform of teaching, and I'm available to explain anything at all to you for you to have a proper understanding. I'm always available, and I'm always there to give you the best you want. So if there's no question, I think I'm going to call it a day. And again, please help us to tell people, help us to share our posters, help us to advertise us, tell people that it is possible through us, and we are making it real. Thank you very much for joining. Those that drop question, those that are here listening to us, and those that watch this video after the live show, I appreciate you so much. My number still remains 620-586-038. I'm Steve. I can always assist in any area which you want. Don't just wait to call me when you are being stopped on the roadway and police arrest your car without driver's license. What you need to do is that get it so that you'll be confident that you are being stopped and you're giving them the right document to see. Nigerian driver's license does not value here. It does not work. It does not work. This is not Africa. It's an European Union. So the only license that valid is European Union. Don't allow anybody to deceive you that you can use Nigerian driver's license. It's not valid. It's only valid for people that come with visa for the period of 6 months here in Spain with international driver's license, with an insurance policy here in Spain. So it is not valid for you that has gotten resident permits. So get that into saying. I see people driving with Nigerian driver's license and they are confident that they are using it. No, it's not. Go back to school. If you can't study, just give yourself time to do it. You will get it. So thank you very much as I come your way again. And I remain Steve, and I'm available anywhere. Any angle, call my phone anytime. I'm available to assist. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you for joining us. Thank you very much. Tell people about us. God bless you.